Okay, so since I did a piece that came around the last one, I figured I'd just kind of stick with the same thing for this waterfall. I am going to just kind of, because it's not quite long enough. So I just cut this, and I know that I am going to want it, let's see, probably like this. And I will round the edges, and I want it to come together like right in here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and place my magnets. So yes, I need another 2 magnets. There we go. Oops. Well, I've got one right here on my finger. There we go. And there we go. Perfect. So I'm going to take this off. See where I want this. Make sure this is squared up and push it down. Okay. So now that I have that, let's see, I'm going to put it right about here. So I'm going to want, where are you? My first score mark, I'm going to make just beyond the paper. So make a mark just at the edge, on the outside of the edge of both sides of these. So your little mark is just beyond this edge, sitting right there. And we're going to score twice. We're going to give ourselves our first score, and then we're going to score the 1/8 of an inch line over. And do the same thing with this one. Score our first line and score an 1/8 of an inch over. And let's go ahead and get both of those folded. There we go. And this one folds, and this one folds. Good. Okay. So that should give us room to hold all this together. But now I'm asking myself, do I have enough space that once I fill these with pictures, is that going to hold? Because the magnet is already pulled down, pulled over this way ever so slightly. So I think what I'm going to do, let's see, is I'm going to move this first score line that I have. I'm going to move it over half of a score line, so that kind of these 2 score lines are actually on both of these little tabs, and I'm going to score right in the middle. So you center the score line on one of these stand-up tabs and the other score line on that stand-up tab, and score in the middle. And then I'm going to also give myself, when I have the middle, and then I'm just going to go to the outside one more time. And that is going to give me a little bit more space. And I'm just going to kind of flip it back and forth, just so I make sure that those are really nicely working, but I'm not like actually folding all of them. Okay. Now, I think that should give me a little bit more room, so that when these are filled up with pictures, it will still be able to still be able to do its thing. Yeah, that's going to give it a little bit more space to pull around. Because what it does is makes this end move that way a little bit more so that there's more that can go around the edge, and that's what we're looking for. So I'm not going to jam this final score line all the way against this paper. I'm going to leave it out just a little bit, not much, because remember, this piece actually fits in between these. Okay, all right, so let's just get this down, and then I've got some decorative paper to put on. All right, let me make sure I'm getting this right where I want it. Right about there. And that is the thickest part. Almost get it all the way against, but leave some growth room in there, because you're going to be putting possibly 2 per each. That's 16 pictures, and that takes up some space. So you want to leave this with some room to be able to expand. So don't pull your cardstock all the way around. Don't get that first score line all the way to the edge of the paper. We don't want that. And then you're just going to make sure that you're going to line this piece up on the same line so that they're, you know, even. And you make sure here it looks even. Yes. And don't let that scoot in while it's drying. And I have nice space on both sides here. So I'm totally cool, happy with that. And I could have done this prior, but I didn't. I'm going to go ahead and round these corners. And I've been using the 1/4 inch. And usually once I start with one size, I use it for everything on the same book. I just think it adds to the consistency of your pages, and, you know, something that's reoccurring from time to time. Now I have this or the pink. I think I'm going to do the pink on the inside. So let me go ahead, and we're going to cut our pieces for this. So I'm going to go ahead and get these ends rounded off, and then we can just cut and paste. Okay. Oh, let me re-ink my edges. There we go. So we're going to take this one right to the edge of our belly band, or whatever you want to call this, our closure. Ink it and glue it down. I just have like 6 minutes left on my video card, and then this is going to crash and burn. So I'm trying to get this done. If I seem like I am scooting along here, I really am trying to scoot along. I would love for these videos to be shorter, but I just don't seem to be able to make that happen. I babble and think things through and talk too much and whatever, right? Hey, as long as I get the point that I'm making across, I guess. And we're just going to lay that right down there. We're going to do the same on the inside with the pink paper. And just hold that down a minute so we get good adhesion around that. So there. And I can go ahead and put this down in here. And it's going to look super cute. So I will show you next time I come back. I just wanted to show you how I was going to do the closure. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Okay, so we are starting page 4. The last one, guys. Yeah. First thing I did is I added another 1/8 of an inch score mark on this. I just folded this back and place this right on my score machine, my score board, and scored. So we're good there. Because I want to do a waterfall here. Now, as I had said, I have 4 gray sheets left. And so I want to save these to actually cover the book. And I think that it will take all 4. So it won't take all 4, but I think I do need to have all 4 of whole sheets. So I'm not touching those. So anything I add to this is going to have to come out of the pieces and parts that I have. That's it. That's what I'm saying. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Okay. So let me kind of see where I'm at here. If I work right in here, I guess you guys are good to see me. I'm going to slide my, there, now that's a little more better. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is set up the waterfall. So, let's see. I am going to use, let's see, what do I have? I think I'll use this green. This pretty green. Pretty green. And let's get it cut out first as the mat. And then I think I'm going to also make another sheet that will go onto the mat that will hang, have all of my doodads on it. My waterfall. So, I have, and let's see, I'm going to cut this first. Let me see what's on the back. Yeah. So I'm going to cut this first, and then I'll cut this one. And we'll put that over there. So I hope, we have been cold. We had snow yesterday, and this is middle of April. Yeah, it didn't stick, but it was cold, and it's been cold, and it's going to continue to be cold throughout the rest of the week. And today is Tuesday, so I think through Friday we are supposed to be having cold weather, and that does not make me very happy. I mean, I'd rather be cold than hot, most definitely, but you know, just ready for spring-like weather instead of still winter. I think we all are, though. Except for the folks in Florida, where we moved to Kentucky from Florida, and they've had 80 and 90 degree weather for like almost a month. I'm sorry, allergies. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move this over out of the way. And I'm going to use my green to do, let me see how big this paper is. All right, come on, Timmy. Tell me some goodies here. So we are, what, 6 3/16? So 6 and 1/8, between 6 and 8 and 6 1/4, whatever works for you on your paper. But I'm just kind of, so I've got 6 3/16, so I can do 6 1/4 and just have a little edge on both sides, which I think is what I'm going to do. And then it's 8 1/2 this way. So if I start at the top and actually make, let's see, I'd like to actually start with a 1/2 inch from the top. I do believe I'd like to be a 1/2 inch from the top. So I'm just going to make a little dot there and a little dot there, so I can start right there with these things. So like I said, it's 6 3/16, so I can make them 6 1/8, and I will have a little tiny border on both sides, and that way your 4x6 pictures will fit on there just fine. And I want to make, okay, so if I cut this at 6, if I cut the 6 1/8, I can get 2, 4, and what do I want to do? 4 3/4. I think so. 4 3/4. Yeah, that's not going to be even, but it will leave a little room on the bottom for writing. But if I made it 4 7/8, if I have that be 4 1/2, then I could make the paper 4 1/4, and that would give me 1/4 inch. Or I could make them 5, cut it off, score it at a 1/2, and then I could do a 1/2 inch strip on each end, and there'd be plenty of room for a picture. So the 4x6 would pretty much fit, and then you'd have a strip. That's what I'm going to do. So I am going to make them 6 1/8 by 5. So that, and that is, alrighty. So in centimeters, it is 15.6 by 12.7. Okay, so the top one is inches and the bottom one is centimeters. So that is what my waterfall sizes are going to be. And then I'm going to score a 1/2 inch on the top of each one to put down. Okay. And I have a feeling that I am going to yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut at 6 1/8. And I know I'm going to at least need, let's see, we can go through this. So our first 1/2 inch is where we're going to start. So I'm going to put this down at the 1/2 inch mark. And the first one is going to be 4 1/2. So this is where the first one is going to land. And then we're going to add each 1/2 inch until I have a 1/2 inch down here at the bottom. So 4 1/2 is the first one. And then there's the second one. And the third one. Fourth. 5th, 6th, 7th. So I need 7 of them, because then that will leave me a 1/2 inch at the bottom, give or take a smidge. Okay, so I need 7. And I think I can get 2, 4, 6, 7. Whew. Boy, am I cutting that close. Okay, so I can get 7 of these, and then other than scraps, I will not have any more cardstock to mess around with. Ay. Okay, but hey, it's gotta be what it's gotta be. Okay, 6 and 1/8, I think, is right there. That's right where my cutter is split, so I have to measure and see if it's actually going to cut. Let's put it up just a smidge. Okay, that's pretty darn close. So I am just over that line. I want to make all of them exactly the same. So that's a perfect pocket, but I've got a lot of those. Okay, and then I'm going to cut a 5 and a 5. And then I don't know what that's going to do, but, you know, we might figure something out. Okay, you guys don't want to sit here and watch me do all this, so I'll be right back in a sec. Okay, and then you're going to take it on the 5-inch side, or the 12.7, and you're going to score it at a 1/2 inch, or whatever centimeter is a 1/2 inch, or close to it, just to get a nice little strip on there. All right. Let's go ahead and get these folded and burnished. Actually, let me go ahead and erase this right here at the fold, because I don't want any of it to show. There we go. All right, so there's that. All right. So, like I said, I've got the first little dots right here, and I'm going to match those up, and that will give me my 1/2 inch, and then I'll have a little line down both sides. That does make it a little harder, because you want to make sure that is even all the way down. So, you know, a straight cut is really important on these, so that you can get that nice and straight. Now you can use whatever glue you got, or you can use, some people like to use score tape. I find score tape very expensive, and I use it only where I really think I'm going to need it. And to me, you know, these aren't going to be flip through using a lot of force or pressure. They're not going to have to hold on to anything. So I just don't worry about these that much. Let's make sure I'm getting this even and straight. Oops, I lost my dot for a second. Is that even all the way down and straight? I do believe it is. No, not really. Now it is. Go ahead and burnish. Open it up. There we go. And then the rest of them are just going to butt right up against it. So, and I got to start thinking about a closure. I know I will be using a magnet on the very front, like I've been doing. So I've got to think about, because I think I've already used quite a few magnets, and I don't want this to be so expensive. Give you other options, because magnets can be pretty pricey. So we will have to come up with a different idea. Oh, let's see now. We could tie it, but I really haven't found any ribbon that I'm really crazy about. And you would think with all the ribbon I have that I would be able to do just fine. But I have not come across one that I'm just really stoked about. Yes, I said stoked. You would think I was from California. Stoked, man. We were watching a surfing movie. So, yeah. And before my husband went to bed. And then I come back in here. Really has not been too terrible on us. See, now all of a sudden it looks like I'm gotten a little crooked. And see, this one needs to come up a bit. Let's see. I didn't get it all the way up. So let me get some more glue in here. And get it all the way up. You've got to be really careful. You see how easy it is. I mean, it's just, you gotta check these each time when you fold them up. They need to be in a straight line, because then it's just going to make the whole, everything else just crooked. So now let's put this one down, and we're back. We're back on track. Woo woo! Okay. So most of the closures I've been doing on my waterfalls have been with magnets. But I think I can come up with something that's not going to use a magnet, but will still be kind of a wraparound type thing like we've been doing. Okay. And we are still straight. Open it up and burnish. And move on to the next one. I got 3 more. Yahoo! And then we'll be going through the smaller pieces and seeing what we can do to give these some decorative paper on them without cutting into big sheets for this. But I probably will get the rest of the pages done prior to decorating these up. Yeah, because these are just going to need smaller sheets. And if I end up having to, yeah, what do you call it? If I end up having to patchwork these, you know, that will be fine. Little bit of glue right there. Okay, this one and one more. And nice straight lines. I remember when I first started doing these, I was horrible at them. Absolutely horrible. And they were never straight. They just, oh, it was just awful. It was absolutely awful. And they would bow. And I hated that. And I could never figure out why it bowed. Well, I think one thing is I was using score tape. And when you put score tape on, I think people tend to stretch it a little bit. And then, but it doesn't want to be stretched. It wants to just be laid down. So if you stretch it, it will bow your paper a little bit. I mean, it's not like bowing your paper like when you put a lot of glue and it gets all crumbly, but it just gets, you know, a little bit of a wave to it, or it just won't lay flat because that tape is fighting to go back to normal size. So you do end up with, you know, with it kind of bowing out, so to speak, when you are making these. So that's another reason, especially when I'm doing these type things, that I don't. And glue is just way more forgiving. You have more time to, and like I said, in this type of application, you're not, it's not holding on to a whole lot of stuff or anything. I mean, it's just flipping. Now, will I put score tape on this part? Probably so, because it's going to be holding a lot of weight. And so that would be where I would put score tape. Okay, now I notice this way, for the most part, it looks good. I've got one that's just a little off, and I wonder if I were to just give that a little bit of a push, could I straighten it out? I'm straightening it out on this line, and I'm holding it very tightly with my fingers, and I'm going to push my bone folder that way. Oh yeah, see, now all of them are a nice straight row. So I just didn't get that one up as far as I needed to, and I've got a nice line on both sides. Woo! Okay, so I am not going to put this in the book yet because I don't know how I'm going to close it, and usually I would bring it around or over or whatever from this piece. So we have this ready, and it's going to go right in here. And so yet again, another, let's see, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 15 pictures just on that one page. Very nice. And this is your 4x6. So it's going to, you can put it up here and right here, or you can put it down here and right up here. I think I will have it where the picture will go up, and I'm going to try and put some strips that you can write what they are And I think that might be neat if you write across these and you go, oh yeah, let's see what that one is, you know, kind of thing. So, I don't know. Just always got the pictures in mind. Okay, so again, I'm going to lay this off to the side. And for this front, and I am going to, let's see, what do I have here? What do I have in my gray? I have this piece. I think I'm going to add another flip onto this piece. And then that will be where we close. Why does this look? Make sure I've got this nice and straight. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it's my little 1/8 of an inch jobby got a little crookified here. Yay! Okay, so this one, I think I'd like it to be this whole piece here in front. So I think what I'm going to do is make myself a, let's see, what's this one? Is that long enough? Nope, that's not long enough. I've got little pieces, but this one's fine. So I'm going to make this one 1 inch and score in the center so that I can have a nice, come here. Oh, for heaven's sakes. All right. So that basically gave me 2. So I've got one for another thing, another project I might need it. Another page I might need it for, not another project. I love gray. It goes with everything. I wear a lot of gray. Well, I figured, you know, right now I don't have that many winter clothes. So I bought some winter clothes, but I bought a lot of them in gray, solid colors, you know, gray or solid colors, so that I could get the most out of them, and it would go with more of my things in my closet. So, it's, you know, I mean, to go and buy a whole new wardrobe is a lot of money, that getting a new house and moving and you know, we've got acreage, we've got 10 acres here, and so we, you know, we had to do things to get that, to be able to live that and take care of it and stuff. So, yeah, although clothes have never been that important to me, I'm not a fashion model or anything. I mean, I like to look nice, and I like my clothes to be comfortable on me, but yeah. Now, my girlfriend Laurel, she always looks great. She's always got makeup on. Her hair's always done. She never leaves the house without all that stuff, and I said, more power to you, girl. But I've been ready for 25 minutes waiting on you. Because I don't do all that stuff. Well, makeup tends to make me break out, so that's why I don't wear makeup. And I guess I've just not done it for so long that it's just something I don't do. Once in a while I will wear some mascara, but that really bothers my eyes. And you know, I think because I do suffer from allergies, and right now my eyes feel like I've got 2 cotton balls. Yeah. It's not a pretty sight. Oops. I got a little hangover here. I'm going to clip that off. There we go. I love playing with paper and scissors and glue. Gotta have the glue too. My son was talking about he loves to do PC games. He's not like a Nintendo gamer or anything. He likes to do games that you play on your computer. And so he was telling me, he goes, I guess it sounds stupid to people. He said, but that's my passion. That's what I like doing. I like, you know, playing a good game with some friends and stuff. And I said, that doesn't sound stupid. I said, I play with scissors, paper, and glue. Some people look at me like, oh, that's nice. Because they think, you know, I say, oh, I'm a crafter. But, you know, when I say a paper crafter, I don't know. I think they think about back in kindergarten and first grade when you were making all these doodads and whatnots and playing with cotton balls and finger paint. And I just go, oh, I just enjoy it, you know. I don't, it doesn't, I'm not out to impress anybody. I'm just doing what I love to do. And if you enjoy watching me do it, well, that's great. If you don't, well, thank you very much for stopping by. And, you know, there's a million good crafters out there. And, you know, maybe I don't say the words in a way that helps you to understand what it is I'm trying to do, which I feel sometimes I really just am babbling and not explaining myself well. I don't know. So, so anywho, we're just having fun and keeping it real, right? That's what we got to do, is have fun and keep it real, especially these days. So I'm going to lay this down so I can give this a nice burnish. So I hope everybody is not getting cabin fever or anything like that, that you're staying out of big groups and doing your thing and enjoying yourself. I mean, this is perfect time for crafters. You know, start watching those YouTube things you've been wanting to watch forever. Do a project that you thought was going to take, oh, I don't have time to do that, just on a weekend or something. And girl, there you got it. Guys, girls, peeps, my peeps. Okay, so that is my first flap, and then my second flap, and then this is going to be the waterfall. So the second flap I have planned, I did cut this piece of paper out. This I want to be, wait a minute. Why? Oh, because I added that flap. That's why I've got to cut it down just a little bit more. And I think I'm going to cut this end off. What do I need? I need about, oh, a good 1/8 of an inch. And I want to show you, if I can get it. Let me get close. I forgot, where am I? Right here. I forgot to cut my ends so that they would be at an angle from here and go in a little bit. So when I put my paper down, I don't know if you can see this. I put my paper down. I'll move it away a little bit, but you can see that piece right there. That is where I just put that flap on. And had I cut that from this fold line right here and cut it in a little bit, I would have totally been able to put this decorative piece of paper down, and you would not have seen that. So that is one reason why we do those little cuts. Yeah. So I should have done that on that strip that I just installed. But anyway, let's go ahead and see where we're going to cut this. And I want to cut I don't want to cut any more off this side because I'm going to do something cool with it. A little fussy cutting going on. And so let's get that right about there. All right. Okay, let's see what we got here. Perfect. Let me, let me get a piece under here so I can see what I have of the green showing. No, I'm going to have to take off a little bit more because that puts it right into the, okay, I'm going to take just a titch more off. There we go. I love this cutter. Perfect. Now that's out of the score line, and I've got a nice green line top and bottom, and I'm not going to cut this off yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fussy cut around this piece right here, and I'm going to make this a pocket. So I'm quite tickled about that. And I think, well, I'll be back in a second and I'll tell you what I'm thinking else I'll do. Okay, guys, so I fussy cut this out, and it's pretty. In fact, I've already lost a little piece of it. There it is right there. So I think I'm going to glue this down onto this gray, and then I'll cut up each side, and then this is going to go here like this. I'll tidy this up a bit, and then your pocket is going to go, see, I scooted this over, and then your pocket's going to go here. Now I could just do a real quick kind of edgy border, and I think I will, because I think I like it better than having this out here. Okay, so I'm not going to have you sit and watch me fussy cut, and I'm going to glue this little piece back over here, and then I will come back for all the other stuff. Okay, so I just evened off the ends and then just did a little bit of fussy cutting just to kind of bubble it around, just to give it some strength, and just to finish it off just a little bit. And I did ink this, so that's been all inked. This has not. Let's see, let's see. If I've got this here, it only needs to go down in there a little bit. Let me go ahead and cut this even. Well, somewhat. Okay, so if I put this in just a little bit of ways, I can save some of this up here for something else. And I have this pretty little piece right there, which makes me very happy, because I actually haven't used that in anything that I can think of just yet. Just off the top of my head. I did turn everything on. Yeah, I'm recording. Okay. So that'll go in my little... This needs to get inked. Oh, take my eraser mark off. I mean my pencil mark off. I'm laying my glue down so I don't have to wait so long. Okay, little gray edge. Okay, so this is, I mean, other than fussy cutting, which nobody really, I enjoy it. And this is here, by the way, as a contrast page so that I can see my edge when I'm gluing down, because it was all running together. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this down. Gosh, that is pretty. That is pretty. Oh, I think I got to do that. That is so pretty. Yes. And I have not used this sheet, so I'm going to use this side. I got pink everywhere. I love that side. Let me ink it. So I want to get that, make it look a little more framed. And that's the reason why if we wanted to get it on the sides, it makes it look just a little more framed that way. But people ink for different reasons. They want it to make it look old. They want it to just cover the end, the white end. Some people don't do it at all. Some people, it just doesn't bother them. And that's all right, because you need to create the way it makes you happy. Okay. Alrighty, here we go. Voila. Alright, and you see, now that is open down there, but it doesn't matter because the pocket's going to be, nothing going to be able to get up underneath there. So that's one reason you don't have to put glue all the way down to the bottom. Now, I'm going to take this and I am going to just put glue right down the three sides, the two long sides and the bottom. And of course, the thinner the glue, the less room it's taking out of your pocket when the glue spreads, when you burnish it. And even though you don't want it to spread, you do need to burnish it because that way your glue is flattening out and really getting good adhesion. Now, we want to put this down, but we want to also line the sides up. Oops. We also want to line the sides up with the top paper so that it goes in between the pocket. And there we go. Beautimous. And when you're scoring or burnishing your glue and you don't want it to go out that way, you can burnish to the outside, and so then any extra glue, it will help just get those ends reinforced. And then I have a tag that I'm going to slide in here, and voila, the page is ready. Okay, so that one's done. And we're going to have this here and that right there. Isn't that pretty? I like that. All right. I think I'll patchwork this one. I think I'll try and do like 2 photo frames and then a little photo frame, this photo frame, something like that. I think I have enough. And this is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. Let's see, which way does the writing go? It goes this way. And I can get all of that on there. Maybe I'll actually make that a little belly band. I haven't done really a belly band in here yet. I don't think I have. No, how about if we do this and then I put a photo frame on the top. And what else do I have? What else do I have? And then I can put this one on the bottom. what else do I have? I have just some very bright pink. I have this piece. Oh, yes. I think this is going to be a green page. I love this, and I love the darker script first. But I got a lot of script on here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my peeps, I don't know. I could put that on there. Let's see, what else do I have? Trying to use these bits and pieces up. I just have music paper. Now that's very pretty, isn't it? Or there's that one. And the rest of these. Okay. So let's see. If I put this one here, which I need to cut a little bit of that off. And then I'll put this here. And then I think this might be cut almost perfectly for the last part. And I think I will make these two into a pocket. A secret little pocket? No. Maybe just this one. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll just make this a little tuck spot, and it'll just have little tags coming out of it. I think that's what I'll do. But this has got a little bit. All right, let me put my stuff back. So you just go through your stash and see what you have. Little housekeeping, people. Little housekeeping. Keep everything where it needs to be. And let me cut this little edge off here. And you can have certainly put it in your cutter and cut it, but I find it just as easy. Just as easy. And I'm going to do these two ends. I don't know. I've got to cut it. I've got to cut some of this off on the end. Am I on camera? Yes, I am. Maybe it's recording. Yes, it is. Okay. So I'm gonna cut this, and I'm actually gonna cut all of these at the same time. I'm going to line them up because I need them all to be the same length, and my cutter can cut these things. At the same time. Now where's my pencil mark? Right there. So I need to flip this around. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me just cut these. Oh, I keep working out the wrong way. Yeah, it's got to go this way. Got to go this way. So I've got my cut mark right here, and that way I'm cutting just the ends off that I don't need. Before I was cutting off the wrong end, and I don't need to do that. All right, there we go. Lots of little tidbits for more of our yeah, that thing. Holy Toledo, man. For more patchwork. So there's that piece. And since I cut them together, I know they're all the same length. This way. Width, I should say. And then this one. And I need to cut. Oh, I'm going to make a mark. I'm going to say about 1/8 of an inch. But I'm going to go ahead and make a mark because every time I don't, I cut it too short. And perfect. Okay, now let's get all of these inked and on there. I'm starting to get this one falling apart. I'm going to have to get another one out. I try and get a whole, one whole project out of one of these, and I guess that's just a little too much to ask, because then if these get on your paper and you push down to get it off, you're actually going to make a mark from the ink that's on that little bit of sponge that just fell off. So, all right, that's going to get covered, so it really doesn't matter. Really, it doesn't. Okay, so we're going to glue this one all the way down. Come on. There we go. Okay. There we go. A little burnishing. Be careful now when you're burnishing, because you don't want to damage the edge of your paper at all. Okay. And now this beautiful piece is going to be a tuck spot. So I am only going to do the two short sides and the bottom long side. And it's just going to be for some little tags, so it doesn't have to be, oh, shoot. Upside down. All right, let's try that again. Gotta watch that upside down stuff. I think this is already dried. This stuff dries very quickly. Okay, and here we go. Now this is the same size, but I am putting a little bit of an edge in between. Let's do a little burnishing, and I'm kind of pushing from the center out so that I have as large of a pocket as I can. And that's also a very good way of making sure that the glue is getting all over the outside edge. There we go. All right, and so now that is a little tuck spot. Very nice. All right, and then the same here. That all looks very good. Is this better? It seems like it's got something a little funky with it. Funky Medina. Alright. Okay. I probably cut it just a minuscule amount. It will be just fine. But I could have left it a little bit taller. Just a little bit taller. But like I said, it's going to be fine. But now you've got two small picture mats. And I'm going to flip this around. And let's, as long as the sides line up, The rest of it is going to look just fine. There we go. Perfect. Perfecto. And then we have a little tag there. Let's see. What can I stick there to remind myself? How about that piece? That will remind me to do something there. Okay, so now we have 3 done. We're going to patchwork that. We've got that. And then this front piece, let's see. I think I want more of this, and I love this. So I think I'm going to put the front piece down right here. So let's get this cut. Or do I want to save this for the back? For this. Or for this. I think I'll save this and put it back here. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Oh, wait a minute. I can't put it. See, this is here. And this is here. This is the piece that I am waiting to do. But if I do this, you're just not going to see it until you open it up. Well, you know, there are worse things than that. There are definitely worse things than that. And I'm going to have plenty of paper to be able to maybe not have to patchwork all these. Although, well, I'll probably patchwork most of my tags in different ways. So you'll have to hang out with me for that, because I will show you in the walkthrough and walk you through what I did on my tags and things. So yeah, it'll be good to get the magnets on this, because because I've got the 8th here and the 8th here, it gets a little wonky sometimes. All right, so I've gone a lot of green. I do need to incorporate some other colors. And then, so this one, I'm going to set that out. Put that out. I think I'll use this here. And I think, let's see, if I use that there, I can use this here. And I can do 1/2-inch strips with this on here. And then the top one will just be that. And this, I don't know, that might be just way too much. Way too much. So I could just do this. Have the whole top one. And then 1/2-inch strips all the way down. And then if I get back to put more stuff in, then I will. But if I don't, that's fine too. And I can put, these are 1/2-inch, so I can put 3/8 of an inch strip on each one of these. So I think, let's see, what else do I have that has a picture on it? Nothing. I have nothing. I could do the clock, but that's a lot of blue when there's no blue. I could do this, but you can really tell it's sideways. I could put this here, or I could put this, that's what I'll do. Okay, I'm going to put this here. Wait a minute, what do I have? I'm going to put this here, and then the other side, or the continuation here, and that will look very sweet, very sweet. Okay, and this won't have a pocket or anything. It will just be for a beautiful picture right in the front. And let's see, that is right there. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Oh, I'm going to get my strip off first. Am I still recording? Yes, I am. Okay, put my strip in my strip container. Trying to be a good housekeeper. And that is right where I want it. And I'm going to work that all the way up with a nice edge. That is not giving me a nice enough edge. There we go. That's a pretty tiny edge. That's a little tinier than what I have. I'm going to cut off just a sliver. Just a little roll-up sliver of a piece. Let me show you. It's so cute. That's what I just cut off. Just a sliver. I love this cutter. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a crafter and love to do this kind of stuff, this paper crafting stuff, you have got to get a good cutter because you use it for everything. And I say this Fiskars Pro by far is the best cutter I have ever had in my life. Now, I have had Stampin' Up! Is a very good one, but it's the mechanism eventually gets a little wobbly. You just can't always get a nice clean cut. This thing, as long as the operator is getting the paper all lined up straight, it cuts beautifully. It's self-sharpening. I don't make any money off of this, guys. I am just giving you my product review here. Unsolicited product review. But well, it took my frustrations away. Because now the only time that there is an error is if I'm making it. Like, I cut this just a titch too short. I mean, it's fine. But I probably would have appreciated it being just ever so slightly longer. I mean, like that sliver I cut off, I'd like to put back on this, on the top. But the sides are perfect. And this is just going to be a standalone page because this is where our piece comes in. And it's going to look okay. Not great, but it's going to look okay. Yeah, unfortunately I did that. And I hate not to use it. We will have to see. But I kind of like the idea that all 4 of them have that in the beginning of each page. So we'll see once I get this. So we're going to go ahead and glue this one on. Try not to get too loud. We called and got an update from my son's realtor on his house, and the people who were buying it from bought it to flip, and they never got around to it. So you can move into it and live in it. So it's not like bad, but it needs the carpets ripped up, and it needs paint, and there is things that it needs to have done to it, but it's just going to be a perfect first house for him, just to be by himself and start his new life. So, but the power company had actually removed the electric meter from the house, and before we get it, before we have he has a inspector go over there, we have to have electric. But with all this coronavirus and stuff, and we've had some really very high winds and pretty awful weather here recently, so I think that's backed him up a little bit more. So, they said 1 to 10 days, and they still have not been out there. It hasn't been 10 days at all. It's been about 4, I guess. But, we're all just chomping at the bit for him to be able to get in there. And, of course, I'll be over helping him paint, and my husband will be over there helping him do other stuff. And so we have got our work cut out for us, and hopefully I will still find time. Well, I can tell you, they'll probably be over there by themselves a bunch, because I'm still going to be crafting. But I will help my son. Oh, heavens, yes. He's such a good guy. You always hope, as parents, that when your children grow up, that you're going to like them. That they're going to... And I do. I like him. I love him. I really like who he is. He's smart. He's interesting. He's funny. He's caring. Well, I've always called him my knight in shining armor, because he always, if you needed him for something, he was always there. I'll be right over. Or, I'm coming, Mom. Just always. And he was one kid that it didn't matter who was around. He would come up and give me a big hug. Love you, Mom. Yeah, I love that. So, yeah, my other one wanted you to drop him off at school about a mile down the road so nobody saw him with you. Oh my God. So I talk about salt and pepper or oil and vinegar. It was 2 totally different kids. Okay. I'm still not putting this down. I was just making sure that I had it inked. But I want to figure out these 2. But I think for tonight, that is probably all I'm going to do, because I feel like I'm getting a little loopy on you. And, oh my gosh, that's beautiful, but that's way too much. But that is just beautiful. Just beautiful stuff. I love these papers. I really do. I suppose I could do a blue on there, but see, that is just, I don't know why I put that paper there. I just don't understand why I did that. I think I'm just going to have to cut 2 more of these, because I'm just not going to like this one. But guys, that is it for tonight. I feel like I've been doing more chatting and less crafting. So, but we've gone a long way. This is really good. And then we've got all this loveliness. So, thanks for joining me, guys. And you stay tuned. Same bat channel, same bat. Well, I can't say same bat time because I never know if I'm truly going to get it up. My internet connection. Sometimes it takes me 3 or 4 days to get a video loaded because my internet service is satellite and it's really slow. So if I miss a day, I do apologize. All right, guys, enjoy your evening. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you're crafting with me and that you're making something you love. Stay safe and stay healthy. Talk to you later. Bye.